Hi, Dr. Trincatelli here. Lately, I have been doing a lot of reading about chronobiology, which is basically an area of biology that looks at natural physiological rhythms. I'm always trying to look at a lot of the very basic and fundamental aspects of being healthy. And one of the things that is important to acknowledge is some of the natural rhythms within our biology that are inherent with all of us that is very easy to move away from and be further and further from what is natural for us because we live in a world of constant daylight if we want to. And so in considering chronobiology, one of the most obvious rhythms is the circadian rhythm. And that circadian rhythm is basically ruled by patterns of light and dark, so day and night, and the passage of a single day. And our body recognizes that passage of time by those patterns of light and dark. And these days, it's very easy to interfere with that process because we live in an environment where we can have 24-hour daylight if we want to, and we have a lot of exposure to blue light through screens, through computer screens, through our phones, through tablets, through iPads, and through our television sets. So we have a lot of exposure that stimulates this chronic simulation of daylight in our lives. And so we've lost touch with that normal circadian rhythm that sets the clock and the pattern for other circadian rhythms or rhythms throughout our entire body. The most obvious circadian rhythm is the sleep-wake cycle, but there are also other organ systems within our body that adhere to a circadian rhythm. And if we can be more aware of that and try to time things appropriately, we can be healthier. So when it comes to the most obvious pattern of circadian rhythm, which is the sleep-wake cycle, getting enough sleep is obviously important, but also timing when we eat our food is also important. Like late night eating is not a good idea because your body is trying to transition to a nighttime mode of detoxification and rejuvenation. And if you're constantly consuming food, it makes it very difficult for your body to shift into another gear. Your body has these rhythms, and organs have different rhythms where things are turned on and turned off at different times. And if we have an awareness of how to optimize that, we can sleep at the right time, we can be active and work at the right time, and we can eat food at the right time. So being aware of the circadian rhythm and the natural rhythms that are inherent in our biology helps us to get back to some very fundamental ways of promoting good health and getting our patients on track with some very basic recommendations when it comes to timing of sleep, when we eat, and when we're active. So consider reading a little bit more about the circadian rhythm and chronobiology because I think it's very fundamental and foundational to what we do with our patients. So read a good book, read some articles. There's a lot of interesting research out there. Thank you.